What is going on, Jet fans? Another Sunday, another embarrassing New York Jets loss as they fall 31-6 and drop to 3-7 on the season. From the get-go, the New York Jets did not come ready to play in this game, and that was put on display on the first possession, on the first drive. The Jets, with their season on the line, so to speak, right? On the line, their season on the line. Can't lose this game. If you want to give the facade that you are making this push to the playoffs, you have to show up. They had the extended rest. This was the best that Aaron Rodgers has felt in weeks. And the New York Jets come out and lose 31-6. All right, first possession of the game, what happens? Well, Javon Kinlaw jumps offside, sets up a free play. Big penalty, screen to James Conner, 45 yards, right down to the 1 yard line. Was there an illegal blocking the back? You could make the case that there probably should have been on this play. Yeah, you could absolutely make that case. But what you could also make the case of, a poor tackling football team, which really cost the Jets today and has for the entirety of their season. James Conner walks in a score, puts the Cardinals up 7-0. All right, Jets get the ball after going down 7-0. Defense puts them in a hole. Big Breece Hall run for 14. Braylon Allen picks up a 3rd and 1. Garrett Wilson draws a DPI. Braylon Allen, big run for first down. They're moving the ball pretty well, but the drive stalls, and the Jets have to settle for a short field goal to make it a 7-3 game. Marvin Harrison Jr. for 17 yards. Benson a big run for first down. McBride inside the 20. DJ Reed is flagged. Ball on the 1 yard line. Kyler Murray keeper 14-3. Kinlaw jumped off sides on this play for the second time in the game. Also, stop me if you heard this one before. Michael Clemens lost containment trying to set the edge at this point. So a 14-3 deficit for the New York Jets. All right, Jets get the ball back. Malachi Corley picks up a first down on a slant. Garrett Wilson picks up 11 on a 3rd down. Another 3rd and 6. Couldn't hit Devontae Adams. The Jets settle for 3. 45-yard field goal is good. 14-6. All right, still a one-possession game. Unfortunately, the Jets defense is just not doing anything. Offense is stalling and having to settle for field goals. Not a good recipe, and that would unfortunately continue. Jets sniff out a screen. Short Marvin Harrison Jr. catch. All right, it's 3rd down and like 7. This is a good spot for the Jets to get off the field. Play underneath to Trey McBride. Sauce Gardner misses a tackle. Tries to come up with the tackle. Trey McBride gives him a ride, breaks free, hurdles a guy, big gain. Quinnen Williams looked like he got hurt on this drive. He would later come back. Thankfully, he doesn't get hurt. Quincy Williams comes up with a monster sack. Highlight reel, helmet pops off Kyler Murray. Didn't matter, though, because on 3rd and 10, they would convert to Trey McBride. And then a Marvin Harrison Jr. touchdown puts the Cardinals up 21-6. 3 straight drives, 3 straight touchdowns for the Arizona Cardinals. What do the Jets do? Well, they go 3 and out. Tyron Smith got beat by a UDFA or a late round pick in Lukita. He would unfortunately get injured later on in the game, and Olu Fashanu would have to come in and replace him in the second half. But anyway, Jets go 3 and out, give it right back. Check down, missed tackle. This is one of the more bizarre plays that I've ever seen. There's a botched snap from the Arizona Cardinals, but they elected to replay the down because we never really got a good reason for it. It was an illegal snap. I'm not quite sure what happens there. It looked like the Jets would have recovered the ball if that play stood. I'm not saying that's the reason why they lost the game. I'm also not saying the reason why they lost the game was because a missed tackle from Sauce Gardner or the missed illegal block in the back. Anyway, it becomes 4th and 1. Cardinals go for it and convert because the Jets defense just never showed up today. Cardinals wind down the clock. They kick a field goal with 1 second left to go up 24-6 at halftime. So the Jets get the ball out of the half. Looks like they're going to be intercepted, but a penalty ends up saving the Jets on that. Tyron Smith, this is where Olu Fashanu comes in for Tyron Smith because of the neck injury. Breece Hall, big run, then a check down to Breece. Ruckert gets it inside the 5. 3rd down and goal. Devontae Adams drops a touchdown. Was it tipped? Maybe you can make that case that it was tipped. Did it still end up in his hands and should it have been caught? Yes. Strip sack on 4th down. Jets go for it. Aaron Rodgers strip sacked. Change of possession. Still 24-6. This drive for the Cardinals was all just like run right down the field. I don't know why they wouldn't do that all game. It worked well for them. Kyler Murray, read option touchdown, 31-6. 5 drives, 4 touchdowns, and a field goal on this. Like, I don't know what you could possibly say about this defense other than that they're sorry and they're soft. They are a poor excuse for a defense. Aaron Rodgers comes back out after going in the blue medical tent. I personally did not think that he should re-enter this game down 31-6. They send him back out there. Jets offense stalls. 3rd down turns into a sack. Jets punt it away. Jets finally, their defense eventually forces a punt late in the second half. Jets have a long extended drive. They end up turning it over on downs at the 12-yard line. Aaron Rodgers was, for some reason, upset at Malachi Corley. I don't know if he ran the wrong route or what, or God knows what. It was a pass that looked like it was behind Malachi Corley. Turnover on downs. Clayton Tune comes in for good measure. Cardinals ice the game, and a 31-6 game is your final score. And just to give some box score notes on like just how bad it was, Aaron Rodgers had 35 passing attempts and threw for 151 yards, which is just 4.3 yards per attempt. No touchdowns, no picks, 3 sacks, 72.4 rating. Breece Hall ran the ball well. They only ran it with him 10 times, though, because they found themselves in such a big deficit. 52 yards, 5.2 yards per attempt. Garrett Wilson, leading receiver, 5 catches, 41 yards. Kyler Murray went 22 of 24. He had 2 incomplete passes on the entire game. 2. 22 of 24, 266, 11.1 yards per attempt, 1 touchdown, no picks, 126.7 rating. He also ran for 2 touchdowns, 3 carries, 21 yards, 2 touchdowns. James Conner, the Jets held in check. He had 33 carries and a touchdown. Trey Benson actually was the leading rusher for Arizona, 10 carries, 62 yards, 6.2 yards per attempt, no touchdowns. James Conner, leading receiver. He had the big play, the 45-yard screen pass there where there was maybe a penalty, but it doesn't matter. Jets lose in embarrassing fashion, 31-6. They dropped to 3-7, and there are still 7 more games left this year, but it does not matter. Doesn't matter. The Jets are not going to be a playoff team this year. Any hope of them still staying alive and keeping it tight is just not there anymore. I don't know what you do. I wish I could come on and be like, yeah, here's what the Jets have to do to fix this. I don't know. They need to find God, because I don't know how you fix this franchise. I really don't. From the top to ownership, to the general manager not being good enough, to the coaching staff not being good enough, to the players not being good enough, to probably the equipment staff not being good enough, to the fans not being good enough, to I don't know. I don't know how far this trickles down to, but it's toxic. It's not good. They're 3-7. They lost 31-6. And their season is spiraling out of control. And in a game that they absolutely had to have, their defense no-showed. This was the identity of their team. Like, that's the frustrating part. For the last 2 years, they've had a pretty good defense. And, some really questionable Joe Douglas decisions. He comes in this year. They trade for Hassan Reddick. They trade JFM away for nothing. They bring in Javon Kinlaw and pay him a lot of money in free agency on a 1-year deal. And all the buttons it feels like they've hit on the defensive line just have not worked. Sauce Gardner has not been good enough this year. His tackling effort is abysmal. It's really, really bad. They've had injuries on the defense. Like, I get it, but I don't want to do the excuses. There should not be excuses. There's no reason. Now, I thought Arizona was the better team, and I picked Arizona to win this game. But 31-6, that's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. Week after week after week, the New York Jets just continue to embarrass themselves. Vent in the comments. I don't know what else you could possibly say on this one. Disgusting, gross loss in Arizona. I'm Matt O'Leary. Subscribe if you're new. Catch you next time.